Hey, Link here. Thanks for joining me for episode 112, where I speak with voice actress Kat Danes. In this episode, we talk about the difference in games versus TV, how they got into voice acting, words of encouragement, games that made her want to be a voice actress, favorite games, dream projects, life outside of gaming, and some lightning round questions. Before we get started, don't forget there are links in the episode description that you can follow to learn more about Kat as well as the podcast. Also, don't forget to like and share the episode, and without further ado, enjoy episode 112. Hi, and welcome to the Red Tunic podcast, a podcast where I look to rediscover what makes gaming fun and enjoyable by having positive conversations with those related to the industry. My name is Link, and today I'm joined by Caitlin Danes, whose voice can be heard in both video games and TV shows alike. Hi, Caitlin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I am doing all right, all things considered. In all things considered, being it's a Monday, so it's the start of the week, not to be Garfield or what have you.
Yeah. Was that on purpose? Did you want us to be both off of our game for this?
You know, there are people that in my head, I'm like, it would be fun to go in and do a keep everyone or keep some people on the back of their feet kind of conversation. This is not one of them. I don't mean that in an
Okay.
offensive way, but you seem like a very nice person. And the
Aw.
last thing I want to do is go out of my way to, antagonize you. Some people I think I could get away with it. I don't feel like you're the person I should try and get away with it with.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, good. Nah. Happy Monday. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad that it's also a happy Monday for you, because it's Monday.
Yeah.
But Alan, before we get started, if you don't mind, could you tell anyone, me, myself, and everyone that's kind of listening about, who you are, kind of like the elevator pitch to what they should know about you, so we just all have like an easy baseline as to, who exactly you are.
Sure. Yeah. Like it's already been said, my name is Caitlin Danes. I go by Kat. I've been a professional voice actor for about 3-4 years now. I've had the pleasure to work in a bunch of video games, a couple animations, now a podcast. I can check that off the list. And yeah, I do a lot of character work, and I love it.
Awesome. Thank you for putting it all that way, summarizing it nicely. Now, I'm going to hit you with this one right off the bat because I'm curious, and I imagine the answer is going to be one of those things that it's pretty much the same stupid, but what's the difference really to you for like a video game versus like a TV show or a, film, what have you?
Yeah, no, for sure. They actually, generally speaking, are actually pretty different. Um, so a lot of the TV shows that I have done are like foreign animation or like foreign live action films and TV shows where like the visual already exists and I basically just need to put my voice over it. A lot of people who like watch anime dubs, it's the same concept basically. Visual already exists. You just need to time it correctly with your own voice. And so like timing is so key. But then with video games, a lot of it's what's called prelay, where the visuals don't really exist just yet. So the timing doesn't matter nearly as much. You can focus a lot more on the characterization, the scene, the emotions. And that's actually part of the reason why I love, excuse me, why I love recording for video games so much, because I feel like I have a lot more freedom to record for that. Basically just read the entire scene and be like, oh, like here I should slow down and here I should speed up and like really get loud and angry. And with animation and ADR, which is what it's called when the visual already exists and you just need to record and time it correctly, there's not as much freedom. There's not a lot of wiggle room. So they're actually very, very different.
So thank you for explaining, and like that makes perfect sense, and I'm happy to hear for once my question was not in the realm of like they're pretty much the same stupid, because I've asked questions like that before, and like that's not what the person said.
Yeah.
However, that's what I feel in the end, because it's like, yeah, okay, I should have been smart enough to put two and two together. But that's really cool to know, and like it makes sense, right? Because if you have the freedom with like a a director. I don't know the appropriate term for someone that would oversee like voice acting or what have you.
Mhm.
Um, but if you have like that director there able to go like, okay, you can be more emotion, like a more emotive here, you can, tone it back here, or whatever. Like that gives them more room to maybe play with how the character in the game would react or animate or what have you. But like in something like a TV show or anime or a cartoon or what have you, if the person's not screaming, you can't really get away with screaming, can you?
Exactly. No, exactly, exactly. You're definitely more confined, which there is something to be said about that being tricky within its own right. I personally like to have the freedom to experiment and kind of go out there that most ADR projects won't let me do.
And I'm happy. Like I'm not saying this. I'm happy that you. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this now because I kind of said this and I'm like, There's no easy way." In my brain, I'm glad that you have the flexibility and like advantages or chances. There's the better word to like mix and match and like get experience in both. Just because as you're saying, it sounds like they're two different skill sets. One of like, especially with the timing, right? Being able to hone that and be good at timing is probably worth a lot in this industry, right?
Oh, yeah, most definitely it is. And there are video game projects that also need it, but yeah, no, being able to say it in perfect timing while also emoting, while also maintaining a voice if a voice is required, it's tricky. And I think getting the timing down can be one of the hardest parts for a lot of actors.
And like, I think everyone has probably heard on like the radio ads, right, where they didn't get the timing down or like they were given
Mhm.
just too much copy to read and like I don't know if everyone does. I would hope everyone does because I feel it's pretty obvious. But when like the playback speed is set to like 1.2 or 1.3 and
Mm.
it's not chipmunky, but it's like just on the cusp of being uncanny valley. Um, so like yeah, I completely understand why and how it's a great talent and uh, uh skill. There we go to have, right?
Mhm. I would definitely argue that it's very important.
So, Kat, I'm just gonna call you Kat now because that's what you
Please
say you go
do.
by. I feel it'll be easier for both of us. Um, I'm curious because you said you've been doing professionally voice acting for 3 to 4 years, and not to and like for this question, by all means, you can take it however you would like. Just because, as I've spoken to some people, the professional versus not professional, at some point they just sort of like overlap, and one becomes the other, or what have you. Um, like I'm wondering what was it that got you into wanting to do voice acting? Like, how did you kind of get into doing it? And if the answer was you started as like a lot of voice actors seem to have like doing Newground stuff or what have you, and that's just like was you playing around or whatever. Anyway, sorry, I'm setting up like a reason or like a setup that doesn't need. Anyway, please, how did you get into doing this?
You're doing great, don't even worry about it. Yeah, no, just like a lot of, voice actors, I started out as a hobbyist. I personally started back in high school when listen, I didn't know what I was doing. I fully admit that. It's actually kind of embarrassing to think about all of the very amateurish mistakes that I made back then. But, you know, I kind of just started playing around with recording programs. My parents took notice and they thankfully got me my first microphone. And I just, yeah, I went to Newgrounds. At the time, there was a website called Behind the Voice Actor that had a bunch of auditions out there, a lot of fan projects. I was a huge, huge fan of Rooster Teeth, and I loved all the animations they were doing. I loved all like the let's plays they were doing. And so I actually started out. A bunch of my beginning projects were Ruby fan projects. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's their indie-ish anime, and I just started practicing voices and recording and just throwing as much spaghetti as I could at the wall, trying to get things to stick. Quite literally, like the amount of auditions out there on just they're still out there, and I hate that personally. But I don't want to delete them and deny that's a part of my history. And slowly but surely, I started seeking out more original projects. I got to be in a couple like audiobooks with some indie authors. Excuse me. I've gotten to be in a couple really cool Newgrounds-esque video games that have the directors have come back and been like, "Hey, we remember you from this video game. You want to come back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And slowly but surely, I've been able to get more original projects on my own. I started being able to like make a demo for myself. I started applying to rosters and studios, and just from there, I've kind of slowly but surely clawed my way to kind of where I'm at now. Which the big turning point was about 3 or 4 years ago when my first, honest to God, like brick and mortar studio reached out, and I started to get it more kind of, I don't want to call them official because that kind of demeans the game, like the Steam games where it's an indie dev and it's like 3 people on a very dedicated team. Those are very legit. But this is an actual studio where they have like recording booths and clients from like all over the world. I would count that as my turning point into the professional world. And I'm very blessed with everything that I've gotten to do so far, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
So, with that in mind as well, like I'm wondering, do you have any words of encouragement for others that might be going down that same path, or even if you went back to yourself before you made it this far, and like, or what have you? Like, just do you have any words of encouragement that you would be happy to give?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't, as much as I just said, I kind of am embarrassed of the pathway that I took to get to this point. I'm kind of glad it happened the way it did. I gave myself a lot of grace to mess up and make these kind of dumb mistakes, so that now that I'm finally in front of big clients that like it really matters how I present myself, I kind of know what I really shouldn't be doing and kind of more of what I should be doing. So to anybody that wants to get into voiceover, the first step is just to do it. There are so many creative projects out there. There's so many YouTubers that are just trying to make their own original series and become the next like big thing. There's so many opportunities out there. The only thing that's really stopping you is yourself.
So thank you for that. I really like that advice because it encapsulates one thing that I've heard a lot is, just allow yourself to make mistakes and just do it, right? Because
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, like, rarely is anyone going to be perfect out the gate, out the door.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
those people I'd be scared to know or see, because like if you're perfect right out the gate, that probably means you're gonna have a bad day the moment you're not perfect, right?
Mhm.
Um, and learning to stumble over things, but also just do them and have fun. You're just
Yeah.
gonna have more fun when you kind of hit that point. Like the way you phrased it, you're when like the big studio kind of called you up, like that notice me senpai kind of moment, right? Like
Yeah,
where
exactly what
suddenly
that's like.
yeah, the spotlight's on you and you're like, "Oh, wow, this is a cool thing." Again, it doesn't diminish all the other cool things you've done, but, like, that notice me senpai moment just, I imagine, feels great, right?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, the initial reaction is like heart stopping, being like, "Wait, what? They noticed me? What?" And then there's just this rush of joy.
Double checking that email a few times, like, "Did they spell my name right? Did they
Yeah.
mean to send this to someone else?" Like, oh, no, it's to me. Oh, awesome, awesome. Okay,
Ugh.
let's go,"
Yeah.
right?
Exactly, exactly.
Um, but no, thank you for the words of encouragement. Thank you for walking through how you got into this. I like the idea that your parents saw you doing this and were like, you know, microphone's probably not too expensive. Maybe we can give her something that's not the phone mic, right?
Yeah, basically. Well, I actually started God, this is gonna age me. Kind of before using a phone mic was really a thing. So I had my computer microphone, the one that's built into like Mac computers. It was
So
so bad.
so like you were getting like right up. I don't know on Macs where that mic port would be. I'm trying to think on laptops where that mic port would be. But like you were basically just getting like face deep in the keyboard and just
Yep.
trying to
Mhm.
emote then.
Yep. Yeah, no, my beginning setup was me in my closet with the laptop with my comforters like slung over both of us. I'm like basically curled in a fetal position screaming into my laptop.
Your
It was
your
so bad.
your family's playing that game of, oh, did Kat have a bad day or is she doing some voice acting stuff? Which is it?
And to this day, they still aren't quite sure.
I think I think that's the best way to keep it, right? Keeps everyone on their toes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was a fun game to play when I went to college too.
The RA gets called, like, this girl keeps screaming. We don't know what's wrong. Knocks open. You just, oh no, this is my job. I'm in my side
Don't
hustle, I guess.
don't worry about it. I mean, luckily that was still when I was mostly a hobbyist, so like I made it work, but it was bad. So to
Um,
those newbies, if I can get away with doing all of that nonsense, you're good. Like just start.
yes, exactly. Just do it. Just do it. You'll be fine.
Just do it. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, sorry. This is
no, by all
advice
means.
that just remembered. There are plenty of opportunities to audition, but there's also a lot of opportunities to learn. Please, please, please vet your teachers. Make sure that they're a legit, credible source. Unfortunately, there's a lot of classes out there that they're not going to teach you nearly as much as you want or need. So, like, just please be careful.
Also fantastic, advice. So thank you for that, because that's is
Yeah.
just as important, right? Because the last thing you need, like you said, is someone just giving you the wrong direction, giving you the wrong everything. Like you go for trying to get an Irish accent and they're teaching you how to speak like you're from a specific place in the UK, which are not the same, right?
Yeah, not quite.
I
Yeah.
would hope it wouldn't be that bad, but but
No, no, well, just there are just some teachers that, like, they have good intentions, but they're not gonna teach you what you need sometimes, so just be careful.
yes, okay, I know exactly what you're meaning. Yes, and that's also something important to keep in mind, that you want someone that knows their own limits, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Now, Kat, I am curious about this one because
Uh-oh.
you you shouldn't say that word. It's not going to be a hardball kind of question here.
Okay, okay.
But but I'm mostly curious because you said you did start doing working on the voice actor backrooms, I think you called it, or what have you, and like playing around with Newground type stuff. Um, I don't know if this is going to be related to this or if it was something else that made you want to go down this road, but like, were there any games that made you be like, oh, hey, this is a thing that I could do, or this is a thing I would like to do? And if so, which games would those be?
For sure, for sure, for sure. Um, well, hmm. So they're two kind of separate veins that kind of meet together, so bear with me. Kind of jumping back to what I said is that, like, I was a huge fan of Rooster Teeth, and I noticed I was like, "Oh, these guys aren't like some big LA studio, and they're making this content, and they're super popular, and they're thriving. So, if these guys can do it, so can I." And that's kind of what gave me the motivation. But the game series specifically that really, really got me into the idea of like trying to make it in this industry, funnily enough, was Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I know. The game has a reputation, and rightfully so. But a little info about me. I'm from the middle of nowhere. I grew up in this itty bitty little town. You had to go like 3 towns over just to go grocery shopping, itty bitty. So like my access to games was kind of limited, and so was my access to the internet, excuse me. And so you know, I really didn't get a whole lot of chances to like expand my horizons. But I would argue very heavily that my very first honest to God fandom that I ever got to be in was Kingdom Hearts. It was whenever I hit about middle school and I finally had access to the internet. And that was the game that like I was passionate about, and I was joining communities, I was talking about it. And I distinctly remember playing the game, and I would listen to a line read and be like, oh, that was really good. And I'd start mimicking it just because like I enjoyed how that actor read it. And I just thought, man, what I'd give to be able to do that, to be able to be in that booth and be doing line reads like that. That would just be so cool. But I'm from the middle of nowhere. I'm not out in like California or LA. There's no way I could. And so it wasn't until later that I realized, wait, hang on a second. I totally could. And that's kind of what snowballed me to where I am today.
So thank you for sharing that. And I'm in no position to try and knock down Kingdom Hearts.
It's okay if you would. I would completely understand if you did. It's a very nonsense series.
I was about to say, I'm in no position to knock it down from a place of actual antagonism because,
Okay.
I played a lot of Kingdom Hearts. I
Let's
enjoy
go.
Kingdom Hearts. Gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what Kingdom Hearts is about. Like at some point, I think at some point anyone would say things that sound like they make sense for the series, and then you say one word and you're like, oh no, we're off. We're no longer on track. What does this mean? So like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna dunk on Kingdom Hearts in any way more than a fan would.
Okay, fair.
And I find it hilarious that you you looked at Kingdom Hearts, and the voice actors in it, they got talented people. So
they did.
Nothing against any of the voice actors for Kingdom Hearts. If anyone's curious, you can just go look at the list. They got some very impressive people for a bunch of stuff. People that have been doing Disney for years and years, and not Disney people. Anyway, I feel bad for the people and find it even more amusing that you were imitating those horrible lines that people delivered with such seriousness.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think that's part of the reason why Kingdom Hearts is as popular as it is because the writing, nonsense. The dialogue, nonsense. Those actors are putting their heart and soul into those reads. And I think that makes the difference.
It absolutely has to be, like you can tell that they're not phoning it in. They are actually showing up. They are actually putting their heart and souls into it. And then you get someone yelling, "Give your heart to darkness" in the most nonsensical scenario. Like what is happening right now? Oh, you're give your heart to darkness as what looks like a giant boat thing that someone transformed into is now coming at me. Like what is my life? Like, so again, like in no way would I ever knock down Kingdom Hearts in any way more than a fan could or should. Because
no, for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
And some of those lines are just so memorable too. So like, yeah, you can't help but love it. Like my friend played Kingdom Hearts when it came out on the PS3, the remaster, remake packaging, or what have you, right? So he got to experience it as an adult, not as like a trying to think of when Kingdom Hearts came out, not as like a lower age teen kind of thing, but as like an actual 20-somethings adult. So one of our go-to nonsense lines was our mix on "Give Your Heart to Darkness" to "Give Your Heart to Dark Charities" for some reason. No idea how that came about, and no idea what it means. That's just what that stupid line evolved into. Probably because of a game we were playing. It was something that just worked for that game, and it just never went away. But anyway, sorry, you were about to say something. I cut you off with that nonsense.
Well, no, don't even. I completely forgot. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just laughing and thinking back to like just kid me sitting on the couch playing. One of the running jokes my friend and I had is I don't know if you remember, I think it's in 2 when they're fighting, and they're like, "Roxas, don't do this," and he just turns to the camera and just goes, "Shut up." And so my friends and I would just say that to each other. If we didn't like what they were saying, we just do that exact like bratty answer of just, "Yeah, shut up." And just it's a very memorable game for a lot of different reasons, but I definitely blame it for how I got
For
here a
everything.
little bit. Yeah, everything exactly.
But no, I'm happy to hear that you also had your kind of meme moment with it. I'm sure everyone does. However,
Oh, I'm sure.
it's just fantastic because that game is just so easy to meme and do it as with like nothing but adoration, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Now I'm gonna ask a question. I I don't know if it's, presumptuous of me, but what was your favorite game? And was it Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts is definitely up there. It's definitely up there. But my favorite game of all time is actually one that a lot of people have not even heard of. And I kind of wear that as a badge of honor, especially since it's a series now, and a lot of people have heard of the second game in the series, but they haven't really heard of the first, and that is Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I've beaten the first one. I haven't played any since the first one.
You've
So
only played the original?
yes.
Oh my gosh, I knew I liked you for a reason. Oh my gosh, my people.
Um
So many people have heard of Thousand Year Door or like the more recent iterations of the game. Nobody's heard of the original.
and which is wild to me that's the case because like when people talk about oh yeah it's got the remake, we're so happy, this that the other, like nothing against it, but I'm happy for them, right? All
For
I can
sure, for
sit
sure.
thinking is, where's the 64 remake? I would like this.
That's
I'd like
what
an
I'm
easier way to do it.
saying. Yeah. Oh man,
um
I mean, we got the Switch port, but that's a hollow victory.
was there a Switch port of the Paper Mario 64?
Sort of. So you know how on Switch you can play a lot of N64 games on it through their
Oh, the NSO thing,
that one.
the thing I
It
don't pay for.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah, no, technically it's available there, but I've heard it's super glitchy, so I don't want to mess with it. Why would I? I have the
That's
original copy still.
my I don't own the original copy because I just rented it. My quote
Mhm.
unquote original copy is on my Wii when I just bought it from the Wii
The
shop,
eShop?
whatever they called it. They
Yeah,
didn't
the
call it an
eShop.
eShop
Let's
then, I don't think.
go.
Part of me
No,
wants to argue they called it the Wii Shop because that sounds more Nintendo, not from
that
a point
sounds like
of
something to
argumentative
do.
pedantry, but yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah. Maybe
it's a
the
dumb
eShop was the
Nintendo thing.
Yeah, no, actually I think you're right. I think it is the Wii Shop and then the DS was the eShop for some reason.
Um,
I don't know. Semantics.
yeah, semantics
Um,
that don't matter. The more the dumb joke of it is the only reason I think of it as the Wii Shop, because
it makes perfect sense.
yes, it's a Nintendo thing, but
It's a Nintendo
I'm
thing.
I'm happy to hear that someone favors the 64 one more. I don't remember as much of it because I only played it like once or twice. I just remember thinking, gee, I would like an easier way to play this. Why can't we be as so lucky to get a remake of it? Like, you look at
Yeah.
all the 64 games that got remakes, kind of ports. I shouldn't say all, I don't know how many there are, but like for the 3DS or what have you, it's like, why
Yeah, yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
Paper
yeah.
Mario have got this? Oh, Paper Mario got its own 3DS game. That's cool. Could it not have got, I think it did, but could it not have got a nice remaster like Zelda did? Like, come on.
Yeah, for real. Well, this is a lukewarm take across the Paper Mario community, and I know this, but the Paper Mario DS and 3DS games are garbage. So that's why they were busy making garbage new ones rather than, remastering the perfection that is the first one.
I'll trust you on that. Like I said, I've really only played the the 64 one, and then the one for the Wii, which wasn't really Paper Mario, but more a
Oh, the
weird
the Super Paper Mario where you could do like 3D
or
shenanigans.
2D. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hilarious game, all the same. It had the same great writing. It just
Oh,
wasn't Paper
absolutely.
Mario in terms of being an RPG.
That's what
Um,
I'm saying.
but anyway, again, I'm happy to hear that someone speaks fondly of Paper Mario 64
I
because you're right. Like
absolutely do.
you say that to some people, like, oh, there was one on the 64, and it's like, yes, there was one. It's what started it. Yes, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thousand Year Door did not write it. Like Thousand Year Door wasn't the first one. That's just the first one you've heard of.
Like the tone
Oh
was
man,
set somewhere else, and
it was.
it's nice that someone else remembers the tone being set somewhere else because Nintendo
Yeah.
seems to forget too sometimes.
Yes, they do. Mario RPG got a remaster, and that was and Paper Mario 64 was supposed to be the sequel to Mario RPG. It's like they're dancing around it.
Yes, that's the same thing that I feel too. Because it's like, come on, guys, come on. Like
Guys,
we
come
know how and why the complications for Mario RPG, why it took so long. Because it was the whole working out with Square Enix and all the
on.
background stuff. That probably wasn't a walk in the park, or maybe it was. I don't know. But
Probably wasn't. Squeenix has a reputation for being a little difficult.
like Paper Mario 64, I'm fairly confident that was like all in house. They have no reason to not,
Literally
like
no
it's
reason.
yeah, sorry, I just looked. It is in house. Like they have no reason to not be able to do it. Might be because the studios or the in-house studio for that is just more focused on Fire Emblem. That could also be it.
Ugh. And I mean, I guess Fire Emblem is successful, so I kind of get it.
At least we got that one remake of the Brothers Game Boy Advance game, I guess, right?
True. Oh, I haven't played the newest one yet.
Neither have I. We're in the same boat there. I just know that
I
ages ago, when Nintendo was asked why they weren't doing Paper Mario as like the RPG traditional, they went, "Well, because you have this," and it's like, "But they're
yeah.
different,
They are
Nintendo."
different. Though, admittedly, I do appreciate that in the Mario and Luigi series, you do get to play with Luigi. I feel like he keeps getting like pushed to the side.
Yes,
I prefer Luigi personally over Mario, so I do appreciate that he gets his chance in the sun.
I'm not gonna lie, and this is gonna date me. When I was a kid playing Super
Mhm.
Mario 2, I liked playing Luigi. He had a learning curve, but I enjoyed playing as him because he jumped higher and more amusingly to me. Like just the goofy way he floated about always
Mhm.
made me laugh for some reason. So I too prefer playing with Luigi, and I'm glad that the iterations of him now are still that kind of floaty, goofy guy. You know what I mean?
Jeff, yes, definitely, definitely. Man, Luigi, my sweet boy.
you know, I you might get lucky. He might get to be that sweet boy again in the new Mario Kart game. And by sweet boy, I mean the harbinger of death and evil.
Yeah. Have you seen he gets to be a cute little farmer. He has a farmer's hat.
In all honesty, I haven't looked at the costumes, but that's actually funny to me. I imagine they have him doing a little bashful dance too with it, don't they?
Probably. The only instance I saw is that he's in his go-kart and he has like one of those straw hats and he's just like tipping it and he's just like, man, he's just really cute.
I'm I'm happy that that exists for you then.
Yeah,
That's the best I can say. I'm happy that that exists because I'm happy that things like that exist and bring other people joy
for
in
sure.
the games that they get joy out of, Like
Yeah.
it's always nice that people enjoy games, a funny concept, but still.
Hmm, hmm.
Um so Kat, I am curious about this one just because when it comes to making games, like I say this from the standpoint of like speaking with more traditional game developers, traditional in quotations here on this one. Like
Hmm.
when it comes to making games or the idea of making has a lot of overhead, a lot of things to take into considerations or what have you, and can really come down to just being like wishful thinking. However, I think in your scenario as a voice actor, this will probably be maybe a little easier to go in the direction of answering. I don't know, but like if you had the freedom or choice or however you want to interpret this, because I don't know the exact wording, but like to just get to pick a project or a series to like contribute to or work on. Do you have in mind like a holy grail? There we go. Do you have like a holy grail that you would like to work with in terms of games or even media in general, seeing as you aren't just video games?
Yeah. No, for sure. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'd love to join Kingdom Hearts, but there is a holy grail that is not that I would adore. And that is the Persona series. I have been in love with those games for not nearly as long as a lot of people out there, but I fell for them and I fell for them hard. And I just appreciate that they're willing to tackle heavy concepts and really like push characters to the extreme. And I would be honored to join any Persona game out there, which there are many.
Yeah, and you know what's even better about the many? There's
Hmm.
3 that Atlas has more or less ignored for since the PSP era. So like you should just start harassing them that they should remake 1, 2, or 2.5 and let you voice act in it, right? Like that would be
Yeah.
like just start your own campaign and just find some people and just be such a nuisance that if and when they inevitably do it, there's the words, they're left with no option but to let you voice the character of your choosing, right?
Definitely, definitely. I'm gonna go locate their studio right now, and if they ask why, I'm gonna say you told me to.
um,
That'll hold up in court, right?
I'm trying to think. I don't think it will, unfortunately. At
Dang.
least not enough that I myself would try it and be like, I told myself to come here and hope that, hope on a wish that they just wave me through. Um,
Mhm.
but I am curious because you said you've been a fan of it for a while. And like, I don't mean this in a way of uh superiority, like the whole I liked it before it was cool kind of like that's not the direction this question is meant to go. So I'm just prefacing with
Sure.
that because questions can be weird sometimes the way they're phrased.
Yeah.
But like, when did you get into Persona, and what was it that made you a fan of it? You mentioned the heavy topics, which anyone that has played a Persona game is likely to have encountered several of, because the game is known for its whole purpose being to tackle some social commentary of some
Mhm.
sorts. Um, or weirdly, I think it's into reviving Hitler as a zombie just so you can kill him again. I don't remember the details of the how and why of that. I don't know what the commentary was for that one outside of
Uh,
the obvious, but what
I
sorry.
think that happened in a Persona game I haven't played yet. What?
Oh, so
Spoilers?
sorry to spoil a game from
No,
30
it's
years
okay.
ago, 20
It's
plus years
okay.
ago at this
It's
point.
okay.
But yeah, no, I think I don't remember which one. It's either 2 or 2.5. Maybe it's 1. It's been a long time. Back when they
Given
were first person dungeon explorers.
mm,
Um, the big bad is Hitler, not Hitler, and you have to kill him again for
great.
reasons.
Given Atlas's track record, that does sound like them. Just the let's just revive him so we can punch him in the face. That sounds like something Atlas would do.
Kind of, yes. But anyway, the question at
Yes.
hand was
Yes, yes,
what
yes,
like
yes, yes.
what game was it that got you into it? And like what was the major pull? And I only asked this because so many people have so many different reasons to enjoy Persona, and it's always interesting to hear your reasons, you know?
Yeah, totally. So like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in a very small town, so like my access to all different kinds of media severely like limited. So I jokingly say when I went to college, I finally got to enter the real world, as it were. And ever since, I've always made it abundantly clear to like friends, coworkers, people that like I kind of mesh with. I was like, hey, give me a game recommendation. I wanna keep exploring and see what's out there and see what I've missed. And a friend in college walked up to me and said, Kat, trust me, play this game. It will change your life. And he shoved his copy of Vanilla Persona 5, not Royal, the original, in my hands and said, I'll see you in a week when you finish it. Bye. And he walked away without another word. And I was a little weirded out because I didn't know him super, super well. But I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I popped it in to my PS4, and it took me longer than a week. Base Persona 5 takes 90 hours to beat. I didn't have that much time to play. I was still going to class and stuff. But he was right. I played the game and it it changed my life. I fell in love with this world, with the characters, everything. I don't usually pre-order games, but I pre-ordered Royal when it was announced, and I pre-ordered 3 Reload when it was announced. Just because I've just thoroughly enjoyed the world and the concepts of Persona.
So I'm happy to hear that. Like, I'm happy I'm happy to hear that literally somebody just went, play this, jammed it into your, into your hands, and then refused to elaborate. You know,
Yep.
that's a fantastic way to try and hook someone on a game. Just, play this, bye. What? Okay.
Which is honestly, if you think about it, that's kind of the perfect way to explain an Atlas game. Like, just trust me, play it.
You know, you're probably not wrong. I'm trying to think back on like all of the Atlas games or NIS America games, because at some point your brain starts to merge the two when they shouldn't. But like, yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense, right? Like if someone just jammed Disgaea into my hands, was like, play this, I'd be like, why? You just do
Uh,
it. Okay,
yeah,
okay. What am I
copy
doing?
that.
Oh, and then you find out all the weirdness. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that you got to experience it that way. And hopefully, um, like the rumors of Persona 4 Golden, whatever they call. I'm presuming they're gonna call it Persona 4 Rerun because of the thematic stuff of going in and out of the
See,
TV and such.
I've been kind of leaning into. I've heard a lot of people call it rewind, like you rewind a tape,
Oh,
right?
that's a good one too.
Right. Yeah, dude, all of my fingers and toes are crossed that like stars can align. And I don't care if I'm like female student number 17, just get me in there, you know?
Um, you shouldn't say that. You might be one of the people that ends up not making it.
Yeah, yeah.
Worth it.
Worth it. Listen, I would I like to be like a teammate? Yes, absolutely. I haven't played 4 all the way through, so like gun to my head, I probably couldn't name any of the girl characters. But like if I could just have a couple of lines in there where I can point at the screen and go, "That's me!" I would be so happy.
Fingers crossed for you, because
Oh, thank you.
I like to hope that people can like do their holy grail of things, whatever that holy
Mhm,
grail
mhm.
may be, um and like, yeah, especially right now, because uh I think I think it's more or less open secret confirmation we're going to get a remake of 4. In
Mhm.
my case, that's just another reason, another copy of 4 to buy, because
Mhm.
I think I have 3 of them at this point now because of all the
Oh,
releasing
wow.
versions. Um, no, oh, no, sorry, I only have 2. I should be careful if I say that. I'm for some reason thought I owned the Vita version physically, which I don't, which is nice because I
Hmm.
bought the golden physical one from Limited Run.
Oh,
So that
limited
only
run. Love
2.
those guys.
Um, but yeah, no, but I hope that comes about, and like, or at this rate they just keep on trucking, and the we get 6 inevitably, or we get remakes of 1 through 5.
We can
Um,
hope, right?
yes. By the way, for clarity, just because I don't say this in a sense of speaking down to you, just in case you're unaware, uh, there was 1, 2, and 2.5, which were all sequels to each other. 2.5 um, was an immediate bounce off of 2. Where they did a weird
Oh.
like remix of the world really quick kind of thing. Um,
Mhm.
So yeah, so just sorry, when I'm saying 2.5, that's why. It's not like they did with Persona 3 Fez or with Golden. It was an actual sequel, but a weird they just didn't call it 3 for reasons I don't remember or understand, to be honest. But
No, that's so
anyway,
fair. Yeah, no,
but
thank
yeah,
you. Thank
those
you.
ones. Oops, sorry.
I was just gonna say thank you for explaining because I was a little confused. I was going to look it up later. You just saved me a Google search.
And for your own knowledge as well, they all did get PSP remakes. Those would be the ones to try and play. For the one, though, I don't remember which on the PSP. They didn't translate it. I think it
Hmm.
was 2 because 2 existed in English to begin with. So they only
Oh,
did 2.5. So I think Innocent Sin got no translation, and then Eternal Punishment did, I think is how it goes. Either which way. What I'm getting at is there are PSP ones. You may or may not have to find fan translation packs to play them, but that would be the way to play them in their best form currently, if that's what you want to try and do.
gotcha. Good to know. So, gotta buy a PSP first. Got it.
But yeah, sorry. Weird tangent. Just wanted to throw that out there just because Persona is a wild series and an even wilder one to try and keep track of. And
Yeah.
play and enjoy in some cases just because of how it is, um,
Yeah.
and how Atlas is more accurately. Um,
True. True. True.
but Kat, I want to ask you this one, not to like hard shift away from talking about Persona or what have you, but like I want to ask about you and your life outside of video games. Like, what do you do to enjoy your time? What do you do to relax? Like, what kind of hobbies do you have now? If the answer is just video games. Completely valid, but I like to ask all the same because I know that sometimes everyone's life is not just video games, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. You'd say that's fair, but you would be secretly judging. I hear you. Um, no, outside of that, um, my I get weird pockets of free time. So unfortunately, my hobby list is severely shortened right now. But I do enjoy reading. I love me a good book. And from time to time, I also write. I have a couple novels that I've written. Still kind of deciding if I want to do anything with them or if I just kind of wrote them for myself. But yeah, I like literature.
So, one, congratulations on completing a novel or 2 novels or however many. Because
Thank you.
like that's a lot of words. Anyone that knows how many words it takes to do that, it's what 80 to 100,000 for like a standard
Yeah.
200-ish, 300 page. That's a lot of words to
Yep.
write. It's
It's
all the same. So like, congratulations on completing that. That's wild to hear.
Thank
Um,
you.
I am, and also, not to try and like sidestep and be like, oh yeah, publishing, but like, it's I'm never am I going to be the kind of person that tries to say you should do something and then try and make money off of it if you're
Mhm,
enjoying
mhm.
it. You know what I mean? So like, whatever you decide to do, I hope it works for you. But I'm curious as well, like, what kind of stuff do you read? Just because I have you here, you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Curious to know.
This should not come as a surprise, but I do like fantasy and I do like sci-fi with the occasional my mom and I we exchange books all the time. We have very similar tastes. She prefers more mystery, so I'll read a good fantasy and send it to her and she'll read a good mystery and she'll send it to me. Um right now I am slowly I'm about to climb the Wheel of Time series, which for those who know is a very long series. I think it's like 13 books strong, but apparently it's amazing. So I'm starting to climb that mountain.
So I'm curious about this one. Um, did you get into it bef- because the Amazon show, or were you always interested in this? Was you just finally having a chance?
I didn't know there was a show, so I just stumbled upon it.
I will say this, and look, this isn't me trying to dunk or dump on the show.
Mhm.
Um, personally, as some I haven't listened to all of Wheel of Time. I've only listened to I suck at reading, so I just listen to audiobooks for
No, that's
that
so fair.
clarification. Um, I think I'm on book 5. But the series, because it was fresher for me when I started listening to it when the series came out, I did not like some of the weird choices they made to do some things. A lot of other people the same. I don't think that's a hot take. Um,
Mhm, mhm.
so I would just say if you do decide to look at the Amazon series, um, be careful, only because I don't know which you might enjoy more, and it might put a weird twist on trying to enjoy one or the other if you are like
Hmm.
me, who really have a hard set opinion of this is the way it should have been. Um,
Mm, mm.
it's hard to make any more statements beyond that just because you haven't started yet, and it's the context of it will make sense. Anyway, I'm happy that you're looking forward to climbing that mountain of a truckload of books that are like 900 pages each, I think.
Easy. Light work, no
Um,
reaction. I'm so ready.
sorry, 900 pages in like hardcover size, I think it is. Not trade size. I think those ones are even like 1600 or something.
Mhm.
But no, that's great. I shouldn't say I'm looking forward to it because I'm happy that you get to start that because it's a interesting series, and I think with the audiobooks there's always this like at the end there was like a mini interview with with Jordan about like just his work on it, or like his focus, or like what have you. And one of the things
Mhm.
that I always liked was him talking about how he always for the longest time was writing the protagonist as a not traditional in the sense of okay, I'm just going to go out there and do it, but more of like a one going, I don't want this, and
A reluctant
just
protagonist. I love it.
thank you. That was the word my brain was like struggling with. I've always liked the reluctant protagonist because it's an interesting way to go. It's not just following the standard hero's journey, right? It's
Mhm,
anyway.
mhm.
I hope you enjoy it because I thought what I've listened to it is fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting back to it at some point. It's so long. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're fantastic and enjoyable. So like yeah, I'm happy that you're gonna get to enjoy that and climb that mountain, so to say.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just, given how long it is, that was something that was holding me back, but I'm no stranger to long and kinda slog books. I read all of the current Game of Thrones books. They're amazing, but you gotta kinda muscle through some parts.
Um, Now I'm gonna spoil a little something for you, and I'm
Oh, no.
sorry.
Okay.
One of the books, I think it's like book 5, is basically that, and I'm sorry for you. Uh, as everyone that's read the series, listened to the series, it's one of those things where after it's done, you're like, this could have been, I don't know, 200 pages. You could have just did it. Instead, it's a book.
Oh,
So,
okay.
uh, I wish you the best of your endurance when you work through. And look, here's the thing: you're gonna pick up the book when you get to it, and you're gonna start, and you're gonna go, "Oh, this is the one. This
Found
is the
it.
one he was meaning." Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha, gotcha.
but everyone feels the same way when they go through it. I'm just not to spoil. I'm just giving you that heads up that yeah, you're gonna
No,
hit
thank
one where
you.
it's all in a desert. It's like if just
Uh,
nothing but a desert. It's
uh.
it's so it's so long. But sorry, not to discourage you. Do
No,
you
no,
get
no,
like
no, I'm not discouraged. No, thank you for the heads up, because like, I've dropped series for less.
you get a good handful in first, so by this time you're committed to knowing.
Okay.
Like
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have reason to go through. It's not like it's the first book. Like oh God, what am I doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Um.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
um.
no, you're
But
good, you're good. Thank you for the warning.
but no, yeah, like I said, I'm happy to hear that you're going to get to enjoy that series. And with that, I'm kind of out of time to steal from you. However, I do want to, if you're okay if it steal just a little more with some lightning round questions.
Right, yes, sure. I will do my best.
Awesome. Um, so just a preface before we get into this. These are lighthearted, they are nonsensical, and they are a little bit random. So by all means, feel free to answer them as quickly with no shame or judgment hanging over your head or what have you.
Okay, I'm bracing myself.
If you're already bracing yourself, I think I'm gonna hit you with
Oh no.
probably one of my favorite ones then, in this case. Which video game character do you feel is most likely to text you a picture of their feet at 2 a.m., only asking if they look normal to you?
What? Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Honestly, Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie. He would.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Because he's just not that smart, and Kazooie's probably asleep and he doesn't want to wake her up, so he'll just text me.
Yeah, with that context, that makes perfect sense. It is something Kazooie would probably be like, yeah, they're fine, stupid, just go back to bed. But no, that
And he's
makes
like, but
perfect
he's like,
sense.
he's like, no, but I want to know. And she's like, shut up.
This is a morning question, dear, that we could sleep now.
Exactly.
Which video game character do you feel is most likely to call themselves a thirst trap despite having no business doing so, and why?
Ooh. Oh, I could be so mean to so many characters. Oh no. Um honestly, Demix from Kingdom Hearts. He's got the water ability, first of all. Second of all, he does think that he's hot, but he has a mullet and a mohawk at the same time. He has no business saying anything of the sort.
You had me at mullet mohawk. I think that's you had me there. That's that. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Which video game character do you think? No, I'm worried this
Oh.
one's just going to be Banjo again.
Well, tell me the question anyways.
I'll tell you that. Oh yeah, okay. I'll hit you with the question anyway, and I'll hit you with another one right after. The question was going to be, who do you think is dumb enough to fall for the Nigerian prince email scam?
Oh, so many characters. Honestly, because he travels around a lot, Spyro the Dragon. He's like, Nigerian prince? Yeah, that sounds like a world I've been to.
So you think Spyro would get that email or that call and would be like, "Oh crap, there's someone that I worked with and he's leaving me money? Yeah, okay, here's my bank information."
I mean, he's a dragon. He hoards treasure. He's like, more? Sure.
That is beautiful context. Thank you. I 100%, yes, I'm on board with that one. So yeah, with that, I'm not going to bug you with another one because it wasn't Banjo. That one, not to say I doubted you. I was just worried because when I open up with, who do you think is dumb enough?
True. No, that's so fair. No, that's so. Well, that's the thing is Banjo wouldn't fall for it because Kazooie would see it later and be like, no, delete that. Spyro doesn't have that. He doesn't have the safety net.
Banjo would be on his way to buy the gift cards from
Yep.
Target or whatever, and Kazooie would be like, "Excuse me, sir, what do you think we're doing right now? Oh,
He
they
can't
want
go.
you to do what?"
Yeah, he can't go anywhere without his emotional support bird. Like he would get to the store and she would cut it off there.
The Target employee wouldn't even have to be like, "Sir, are you sure this was from a place?" Kazooie would be looking at the gift cards going, You're grabbing 20 because what? No, put them back.
No,
We're gonna go home.
Yep. Exactly.
And you've lost phone privilege after I go to sleep.
And he goes, "Aw."
Yes, exactly.
You see the vision.
Yes. No, I heard it in my head. Now, Kat, as I said, I've taken up, I think, enough of your time to not want to enough of your time to not step into the rest of your evening, the rest of your plans. But if there was anything else you did want to discuss, or quickly in this scenario, or what have you, it's your life. I'm not gonna put a timeline on your choices, but if there wasn't anything else you want to discuss, a cool game, what you're doing, something you feel more people should just be more aware of, by all means, the floor is yours. As well, please let everyone know where they can find more information about you, which I'll also include in the episode description.
Sure, yeah. Um, I feel like it's become a little more of the norm, but I always want to encourage people to check out more indie titles. Listen, I get it. Call of Duty Shoot a Man will always be popular, but there's a lot of there's a lot of really popular, really not popular. There's really cool, really dedicated indie devs out there that are putting their heart and soul into these creative, amazing projects. And I would just encourage people to go, check them out. And it's not because I've gotten to voice in a lot of really cool ones. It's just these projects are legitimately cool. So just give them a chance. But if you've somehow been charmed by everything that we've gotten to talk about and you want to find me, I am on Twitter, Blue Sky, and I am a Twitch streamer. Though warning, I'm a little more crass. I'm a little more of a rowdy boy on those. But all of the usernames are catastrophe, cat astro free.
So awesome. Thank you for that. And not to step too into it, indie games, perfectly agree, 100% fantastic things. Always happy to support them. And I think other people should also be looking at supporting them. Especially because of the market right now. Anyway, or industry, sorry. But anyway, not to step too much into it. Completely agree. And I will 100% make sure those, the Twitch, the Blue Sky and the Twitter links are in the description so that people can just easily click them for you if they want to know more about you, or they can just, Google your name or what have you. But yeah, I'll make sure that that's there and easy for people to click and find out and learn more about you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Kat, I'm happy to hear that. I'm always happy when someone follows up with, this wasn't horrible. You didn't ruin podcasts for me. So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I could not possibly see how you could ruin podcasts.
I'm sure there's going to be a moment one day where I figure it out. And that's not today, but I'm sure there's one day I'll figure it out.
Yeah, thank God I'm not here. Thank God I'm not here to witness it just yet.
Yeah, you're not the guest that sees me climb out onto the ledge. That's a little too dark. Anyway.
Whoa. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
But no, Kat, if there wasn't anything else, I will shut up. I'll let you get on with your evening.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful rest of their day as well.
So thanks again to Kat for making time to have this conversation with me, and thank you for joining us on the Red Tunic podcast, as well as a special thanks to Roland Jankees for the use of music from the title track from Road Steep. Be sure to check out the episode description for links to socials, websites, and other means that will allow you to learn more about or support Kat and the podcast. And while you're doing that, share, follow, and whatever else you feel makes the algorithm work. Thanks. Till next time.